So my name is Rik McCloud. I have been going to cons and have been involved with the fandom for over 20 years. My first con was actually back in 2014, and that's when I started really getting involved with sort of the in real life aspect. I was online before that, posting artwork and various other bits like that. Um, some of the roles I've done, photography. I ran the social media for ScotiaCon for a while. Also was head of creative for a while as well. At Confuzzled, I've gone through Strikeforce, who move all of the bits and pieces to for the con to and from stores, and elevated up to being involved with stores and also driving the vans there as well. Um, and also, some people will remember me for being the Taskmaster at Confuzzled, but I think the main thing really that people would know me for is for my love of the automobile, for my love of cars.
And how did you get started in the furry fandom?
Well, my name is kind of a giveaway of that. I absolutely adore Star Fox. I remember playing Lilac Wars, it's called over in the UK, or Star Fox 64. And then playing as Fox in Smash Brothers, and then Star Fox Adventures was the real sort of the diving board moment, so to speak. And I ended up talking with a bunch of people on the old Nintendo Europe forums, and we ended up with a little sort of role play group, and other things happened. Ended up going into Furcadia, then posting art on DeviantArt and Fur Affinity, and then I was kind of in the deep end in that respect. But I could never seemingly find anybody in my own country for some reason in the UK. And it wasn't until I was chatting with Zikaura, um, and she said, "I'm going to Confuzzled. You should come along." And it's basically on my doorstep. I couldn't get any closer really if I tried. And I took a day ticket there, said to my parents, "Oh, I'm going to a car show," because I didn't quite know how to break it to them. Um, and I didn't want to leave by the end of the day. I came back, I had the con book, I showed them everything, and yeah, they said if you're not hurting anybody or you're enjoying yourself, then we don't care. So I'm very lucky in that respect. And yeah, ever since then, it's kind of snowballed a bit.
What was that moment like standing at Compulsory and thinking, oh my God, these weirdos are just as weird as I am?
It was, yeah, my defenses were up. I couldn't get over just how relaxed and chilled everybody was. I remember standing in that lobby for the first time at the Hilton Metropole. It was the first time it was at the Hilton Metropole. It just moved from Hinckley, so unfortunately I missed those years, which some people say are really good. But um, yeah, I remember standing there and people coming over, seeing I was obviously quite lost, and helping me out. And I was sat on my own, and someone came over and said, "You okay? You want me to sit with you?" And I was like, "I'm good. I'm fine." I was trying to work everything out, and yeah, it just the atmosphere is the biggest memory I have of it. Just the friendly, caring nature of people. And that was obviously when it was a lot smaller as well. I mean, I don't know what it'd be like to go into there now with Confuzzle being over 3,000 attendees, and ScotiaCon certainly growing an awful lot more to when I first joined it. But yeah, it's I'm very lucky in the respect of the people who I found from then. They've transformed my life for the better. I can't thank the people I have around me enough. And it wouldn't have been possible without the fandom, I don't think.
We've very similar experience in that respect. Like my first in-person furry convention was Compulsory, and I stressed the in-person bit because I went to online Compulsory 21 and online Eurofurence 21. And I was like, this is cool, this is fun, this is great, whatever. But actually standing in the lobby of the Hilton and kind of going, oh my God. So I did a panel at Plus 22, and it was the power of podcasting about this show. and in that frame is purple and white confetti from the opening ceremony. And I remember I put it in like a Polly Pocket, and I kept it so safe. And now I look at it every day and I think, wow,
And they
I
didn't realize
managed
just
to
how
come through.
far it would go. Yeah. Um, I remember they managed to get it all the way to the Crown Plaza. They literally people trampled it all the way over to the Crown Plaza. Um, and yeah, they were finding bits of it They're still finding bits of it in the roof now. And in subsequent years, certainly for Confuzzled and ScotiaCon, they were certainly not helping matters by upping the ante with the confetti. But hey, the longer people have fun.
Gosh, I remember the first time I was in the queue at Confuzzled for registration, and at that time they had a oh, it's the room across from Conops, so not where the mini first lounges, but like up near the reception. I think it's called King's. Don't quote me. That big, massive, feck off sized room, and it came down around that room, down the corridor, turned right by main stage, down towards Sealer's Den, and out the emergency corridor. And I remember like seeing the photographs up on Twitter and just going, "Holy hell! There's so many furries!" Like,
Because when we came back from COVID, I think the thing that really cemented just the explosion of growth was when Matt Lyon said to everyone who was in the main stage, like, put your hand up if this is your first con, and half the room put their hand up, and there was goodness, I don't 400 or 500 people, and that's a small, not that's not even barely a quarter, basically. No, there's a lot of people there. So yeah, it was quite eye-opening in that respect, just to see how these cons have exploded in popularity for sure.
I mean, we even see as well, like in the cosplay and Comic Con, where like I'm involved there as well, and like COVID has a lot to answer for in many respects. Um, but I think it's kind of given us like even if you look at newer furries, like I'm looking around in Ireland and the UK, and if you look, say, at Venus Kitty, who won ScotiaCon 2023, I think Dance Comp was a different suitor. Um, they won that on their first ever go, number one, but that was their first ever con, and they were freshly 18 at the time. And it's like if you look around, at Comic Cons, you have 15, 16, 17 year olds now who have like full suits. It's like, oh my God, this wouldn't have happened, back in my day.
The amount of creativity, and the amount of people making their own stuff now. I mean, that just you barely saw that 10 years ago. And now, like people are just they're having a go, and the tools with 3D printing and people putting up guides online and other stuff. It's to see the new creativity that people are doing. Like the protogens, I think, are my favorite. The LED faces and now it's even going into sort of the more traditional suits with the eyes and I mean, obviously moving jaws as well, but moving ears and just the amount of technology and it's almost people are pushing the boundaries and it's really fun to see how things are evolving, certainly in terms of the creativity in that respect. Yeah, I have to admit, again, going back to sort of the VR thing, some of the species that have come out of that, like for example, I have to admit, I'm a bit of a fan of the Nova Beasts. I do quite like those a lot. Um, but I actually went to my first VR con this year for Virality. I hadn't actually been to any of the other ones because I never, when they were really becoming popular at COVID, my computer was not up to the task of handling VR, and obviously then everyone was buying up the graphics cards, and it was just impossible to be able to build a rig with any sort of meaningful parts. Um, but it was an interesting experience. It was certainly I expected it to be different, but yeah, it's something I would engage with again, I think. But yeah, nothing can beat personally being able to interact face to face with individuals now.
So you mentioned before about taking, roles in different departments across conventions. What would you say was the most special?
I had a lot of fun doing the social media. This was back going, I think it was 2016, 17 for so doing the stuff on Twitter for ScotiaCon. That was a big laugh because being able to interact with people, having fun, being serious when you need to be, but at the same time showing that it's not all about, strict business, blah blah blah. Having fun with people, leaning into. I think my favorite moment doing that was we just finished Confuzzle 2018, I think, and we were like the last of the last to leave, and we were in a little room. We had a bunch of drinks, and we basically started. It was at the time, I think, when they were changing over the chairman, and we had this sort of little joke because I work with Silver, who is the Silver Foxwolf, who's one of the chairman of ScotiaCon, and we had Rally Cat, who was in charge of the Confuzzled social media at the time. And so we were saying, oh, the brand new con chairman is this bottle of Copperberg. And we were doing like this chair reveal with a rotating chair and taking videos and posting it on there. And we were tagging other events as well. I think we tagged just for the weekend. We tagged what else? Furcation was there. There were a couple of other, I think, Cabin Con. Gosh, there's a few, but the funniest one we got was when Eurofurence then tweeted, and they rotated their chair around, and it was just a picture of the Larden loading image, and yeah, it was just silly stuff like that, which I genuinely miss, just having a laugh and yeah. But my current role being actually, yeah, I forgot to mention my current role being guest of honor liaison for ScotiaCon. Yeah, that's certainly proving a lot of fun and working to some of my strengths, I suppose.
Does that nerve ever hit you? Like, oh my God, I'm interacting with like people who were very well loved and cherished the fandom. Like, not to say like starstruck, but for lack of a better phrase, does that ever hit you?
No, because these people are just ordinary people like you and me. The overwhelming reaction that people get is, "Oh my God, I don't deserve this," which is totally not the case. I mean, there are so many people who would be deserving of it for various different reasons, and nobody thinks that they are anything special. And it's not until when people actually say to you, you are loved, you are respected, we want to offer you something because of the contribution that you've made. And you're just sitting there thinking, well, I just make suits, I just make art, I just do basic bits and pieces like that. Um, so yeah, I mean, for 2026 with Todd Aldrington, the writer, they were exactly the same, and they've been an absolutely wonderful person to work with, and yeah, it's nice to also shine a light on a side of the fandom which I don't think gets enough exposure. That's something that I want to sort of look at, and rather than it being sort of guest of honor, it's more kind of shining a spotlight on things that the fursuits and the art obviously get an awful lot of recognition, and deservedly so. But being able to look and see, well, what else is there? I mean, we're a creative bunch, and looking to see what else we can do, and who else we can um, bring into the spotlight, so to speak, and say this person's doing this, they're doing a great thing. It's always a pleasure.
So, from the moment you get the name, whoever it may be, what is that process like from getting the name to actually being on site? What's the behind the scenes like that?
So, getting the name. So we obviously, I try and get feedback from people. We ask people in is it questionnaires at the end of conventions to see if they have any suggestions. We take suggestions from staff members and other things like that. So I try and get as big of a pool as possible of suggestions. Then once the name is picked, it's then we try and find the best way to contact them. We send them an offer. They are more than welcome to reject it if they really don't feel that they are worthy. But that's not happened yet, and I hope it doesn't happen. Um, but yeah, so once that goes forward, we will then talk with them if they need a dealer's den table, or if they just want a space in the artist alley, or if obviously figuring out what events they'll be required in, dance competition judging, opening ceremony, and also talking about themselves and talking about the things that that they are passionate about. Um, so we work through all of that, make sure that everything is sorted in that respect. Obviously, look after logistics in terms of helping getting them here and getting them a room and other bits like that. And I also make sure to try and follow up with them afterwards. Just say, was everything okay? Is there anything better that I can do? And so it's basically just being a host. To be honest, it is just literally being a host. And yeah, it's great fun. It is really good fun.
So you mentioned there about dance comp. I know ScotiaCon 2025, you were involved with Beat Drop, Beat Down, the judging of that. That because I was helping as one behind the scenes, and I was very envious of yourself, Ashton, and Amanda, who were doing it because I was like, oh my god, that's so fun, but also petrifying at the same time.
It was so as came to me and said, I'm looking for judges. Do you fancy doing it? And I went, yeah, I'll give that a go. And then we obviously Amanda was a perfect choice, being guest of honor, to sort of give it a go. And then Ashton had previously run it, so I had history with the convention as well. And I mean, the thing is, I think with the UK furry dance competitions as opposed to the US ones, like the level of competitiveness, and it's so sky high. And I think that the UK one is starting to get there a little bit, but I think that we really do need to, like, again, showcasing the skills, absolutely, but making sure to keep it as fun as possible. I'm not saying that US ones don't do that, but I think, again, because I think there'll be some people who say, why don't you have people who can actually dance as the judges? Um, I think with that, it's quite nice if you have, say, someone who is like an audience member, because they might not necessarily know how to dance themselves. So there may be something that they see that someone who's looking at technical ability or something else, or just how they feel is something slightly different. But it was bloody nerve-wracking because the idea was, Az came up and said, "Look, I just want you guys to just hold up the bats, one color or the other." Um, but as we did like the first couple, we were like, this is tricky. Like we wanted to have some kind of consensus, and we didn't always, but that's part of it. So that's the reason why there were times where we were heavily in discussion with each other. And I couldn't believe it when it came to the final and we were all unanimous in our choice. I mean, that was, again, we had no idea what each other were going to choose. So it made it really, really special, and it was a fantastic event. Az does an amazing job. I can't, it's the yeah, he's an amazing showman.
Am I right in thinking the final verdict cost you £100 in the charity auction?
No, so what happened with that was I wanted to speak into the microphone, so I offered £100 in the auction. But yeah, I went half and half with Kerry on some of Medusa's masks. So I've got one, Kerry's got another one. So it's all to help out. It's all for a bit of a laugh. And to be honest, I end up doing the running in the auctions anyway, and I normally end up spending money. So I just like, I'll make it worth my while.
Now, speaking of Medusa, I know Amanda makes a lot of suits as well. You recently got your fursuit. What was that like?
A long time coming. So, oh gosh, I remember when I didn't get suiting when I was stood in that, going back to the whole lobby thing in Confuzzled 2014, and I'm stood in this lobby and I'm looking at people in various different brightly colored costumes going past me, and I'm going, what is the appeal of this? And it wasn't until I went out with Volf, he did public suiting in Aylesbury, and that's when I went, I get it. Because it's not necessarily like the stuff at cons is fun, but when you get out and get to do it in public and seeing the reactions from people, I was like, okay, now I get it. Now I'm curious. And it was then Kyle Fox who gave me my first suiting opportunity back in just for the weekend 2017. I wore Fizz Coyote, a big, bright pink, purple, and white coyote. Great fun. It was fantastic fun to wind people up as well, because they didn't know that I was in the suit. That's always good fun. Um, and so from then on, like I've been thinking, like, do I want a partial? Do I want it realistic looking? I don't know. Maybe go for a more full suit. There's some toony styles I like, and then I got indoctrinated into Made for You and yeah, Rhapsody, Cyber. I'm not sure what she goes by now. She has several different characters and names, but she's amazing, and I was stunned to be honest to get an opportunity for a suit from her, and I love him. He's getting like it came at a really good time because I'd just gone through a health implication. I had atrial fibrillation earlier on this year, and that went on for longer than it should have done because of I wasn't properly diagnosed and other stuff. So I ended up in hospital for a few days. I'm okay now. I came out of it with thanks to the drugs. Thankfully, they didn't have to give me cardioversion, which is where they shock you into getting you back into the right rhythm again. It's basically irregular rhythm for people who aren't aware of the heart. So coming out of hospital and then when I was in hospital, I was receiving notifications from from Cyber, saying, what color do you want the hair, for the head because it was nearly complete, and so I was in the hospital bed exchanging emails with her and saying, can I double check it? Yeah, that's good. And then came out of hospital, and whilst I was on sick leave, the notification came through, the parcel arrived. Excited, hurriedly went to go and collect it. I actually went and collected it before I got the message through saying that the parcel was ready in parcel force depot or whatever it is. So got him home, put him on, and yeah, the suiting is just I'm kind of used to it because again I've gone out with Kyle on his swarms where he basically gets all of his suits out, and it basically is just a color explosion that happens in the lobby, like a rainbow just goes full on boom, and then various different shenanigans happen. So I was aware of what suiting is like, and it is funny now, like the stuff which when I got my suit, I was like, oh, actually, I need to have balaclavas. I need to make sure I've got more Under Armour. I need to find ways to dry this, to clean this, to store this, and other things. And all the stuff that you don't really, you think, oh, I just want the suit. And then you're like, oh, there's all this other stuff which is on top of it as well. But yeah, the response to him has been amazing as well. Like people have been so kind, and getting to wear I didn't think I was going to wear him at Confuzzle because I wasn't sure if I was going to go in 2025, but I ended up going and wearing the suit, and people were like, oh, that's Rik. And it was really lovely to be able to be recognized as Rik and not just me.
I'm very glad you're doing better, by the way. I didn't want to interrupt you there, but I'm very glad that you're doing well.
Yeah, I spoke for a long time there. Sorry about
Okay, it's fine.
that.
I really enjoyed listening to it. Genuinely, like one of the joys of me doing the show again is I get to talk to people and like hear their stories, because you know yourself when you're at cons, it's go 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 go. And even though like now and then we get to do like a trip to Tesco to buy socks for someone in particular, you know,
It wasn't socks, it was underwear.
I was trying to save your bacon here, Rik, but
No, no. You should know me by now. But just if it's funny, it's funny.
but yeah, like it's why I love doing the shows. I get to like listen to people, and it's constantly go 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 at cons and stuff. And sometimes, unfortunately, the human world gets in the way. You gross, right? Humans, you. but it's genuinely it is a wonderful thing that I can experience being the host of a show now. As I can talk to people and hear their stories, and it's really enjoyable to have a chat with you. It's so fun.
Yeah, I when you said, I'd love to have a chat with you and do this, I was like, but I haven't done anything in particularly special. But it is nice just to be able just to have a sit down with someone and have a heart to heart. Again, at cons, it can be a real rush, and you don't always get the chance to do it. But I've been trying to do sort of other events and things where I can, or go and obviously you go and visit your friends and do various bits and pieces. And again, the cons are a great gateway into that because you end up meeting people who go, oh, I want to talk to this person more. I want to find out more about this person. And yeah, they certainly have their place for sure. But yeah, they can be incredibly frantic.
If you could go back in time to baby Rik and say, okay, 20 years ago, you just found this thing, these cool star foxes, and now you're going to be talking to weirdos on the internet for the next 20 or so years, what would you say to them?
Gosh, that's an interesting question. Um, I would, oh gosh, that is a really difficult one. I would say to them, just be careful. There will be people out there who will try to take advantage, but thankfully they are in the minority. Um, don't be afraid to try something either, because I remember seeing adverts for RBW, and I could have gone, but I didn't, and I I re I, I don't really regret it, but at the same time, I'd wish I'd gone. It would have been nice to have gone in a little bit earlier, but it's incredibly difficult to make the jump on your own. Like I had to be helped, and I'm quite an outgoing person anyway. But even then, it's like when you've got complete strangers around you, it's you have to be a little bit shielded, a little bit guarded. But yeah, I think certainly giving. I've been trying to give more and more things a go as I've gotten older in life because time is finite. Uh, and this year has certainly shown to me that you're not guaranteed tomorrow. So make the most of today, and then each and every day after that is a blessing. And yeah, just take life by the horns. Don't be passive. Just do things that you think are going to make you happy, um, within reason, of course. But yeah, just live life, have fun, have a laugh at yourself. Being serious about yourself doesn't get you anywhere.
Wonderfully put, Rik. Thank you very much. I enjoyed listening to this. It's been great, crack.
Thank you very much.
Come here to me. Before you go, can you let people know where they can find you online?
You can find me on Blue Sky. Just search for Rik McCloud. I've also got stuff on Instagram as well. You can find me actually on Rik McCloud on Instagram, or alternatively, I've just realised we haven't even really chatted about car stuff or anything like that. We've just basically done furry stuff. But yeah, if you want to look at the car stuff, then I've got my Instagram, which is Lima5 underscore Oscar Whiskey Oscar, and that's all the Monaro stuff. And yeah, so that's mainly where I haunt these days.
The plan was to talk about furries and cars, but we got into it, man. That's what happens sometimes, you know?
Something a bit different, I suppose.
Like you say on television. And now for something different.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I really do appreciate it.